near side and far side of the moon, and is partially visible, but pretty difficult to see from Earth. What is so cool about this one is the way it shows up on lunar images, kind of like a target ring bullseye. It is believed that this is an impact crater that was caused by an asteroid-sized object, estimated to be around 64 kilometers in diameter, traveling at speeds of around a calm, casual 15 kilometers per second. This collision is said to have caused ripples in the lunar crust, which is what gives it that ring effect. At the moment, we don't have samples directly from this area, so we aren't sure what the exact age is yet, but it is thought to be the moon's most recent or youngest impact basin, thought to be quite a bit younger than the Imbrium Basin, which is about 3.85 billion years old. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have the New Jersey Ufo. This UFO sighting took place in 2001 just above the New Jersey Turnpike. On July 14th, 2001, just after midnight for around 15 minutes, motorists driving down this highway stopped to stare at the sky to witness what no one could believe. There were strange orange and yellow lights in a V formation just above the Arthur Hill waterway. There were a ton of witnesses who were all extreme. It is colorful and it doesn't produce any thunder. The lightning does change its frequency up from time to time, and at one point it stopped for a few weeks and people thought that maybe it was going to have been exhausted forever, but that changed when the lightning came back, putting it right back on our list of mysteries that we just can't quite figure out. Many people have studied the lightning, trying to figure out exactly how it but those who are now doing the well, we haven't had any updates yet. Lightning. Okay, so basic burial. Well, we haven't had any updates yet. Maybe this exhumation means that this one isn't impossible to solve. I guess we'll all just have to wait and see. In our number 4 spot today, we have the Catatumbo lightning. Okay, so basically the opposite of ball lightning, the elusive glowing orbs, we have this kind of lightning that is around almost too often. Basically, this lightning occurs over the Catatumbo River, and it's a complete atmospheric phenomenon. This lightning occurs 140 to 160 nights a year, 9 hours per day, and from 16 to 40 times per minute. That is absolutely insane. That is so much lightning. That's almost a lightning strike a second. Another thing that's so fascinating about this lightning is that it is colorful and it doesn't produce any thunder. The lightning does change its frequency up from time to time, and at one point it stopped for a few weeks and people thought that maybe it was going to have been exhausted forever, but that changed when the lightning came back, putting it right back on our list of mysteries that we just can't quite figure out. Many people have studied the lightning, trying to figure out exactly how it has been created and what makes this phenomena what it is, but we aren't just quite sure yet. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Zodiac Killer. This one had to make it on this list because although these stories are terrifying and horrible, the story of the uncaught and unidentified serial killer known as the Zodiac truly is one of the most mysterious. The Zodiac Killer took the lives of 5 people in the San Francisco Bay Area between December 1968 and October of 1969. He was most known for targeting young couples or a lone male cab driver. Despite 2 people luckily and thankfully escaping his attempted evil doings, while no one has heard from the Zodiac since 1974, the case remains active in many...
Let's pause it. Head home, head to bed. Wake up in the morning, tomorrow's Sunday. Great. Monday is school again. What, bitch? Pa, pa. Pa, bitch. Pa. Say it again. Oh, right. You're dead. That's what I thought, bitch. When I shoot people, I make sure they're dead. Why not? Or when I kill people even, I make sure they're dead, cunt. If I stab someone, I make sure I keep stabbing them, you know, until they're dead. Or if I fight someone, I'll just keep beating them the fuck up until they're dead. Let's steal this car. Park this bitch. Here, dog. Let's go. here. Head inside, head to bed, wake up. Tomorrow's Sunday, dog. Jump. The SM-13 gang owns all around here. This part here is our ally gang called the Bloods. So yeah. This is the ally gang. SM-13 gang owns down there. The Bloods own over here. This is the ally area. It's still here for the day.
Different counties, and it is yet to be officially solved. In our
Have a
number 2
join
spot
for the
today,
day,
we have
dog.
D.B. Cooper. This is a case I have mentioned here before on this channel. In fact, I talked about this guy in my very first video I ever did here, but we had to bring it back because it truly is one of the most baffling mysteries of our lifetime. On November 24th, 1971, a man who said his name was Dan Cooper boarded a flight from Portland to Seattle. Once the plane was in the air, Cooper handed a note to the flight attendant who dropped it into her purse without even opening it. Cooper leaned over and whispered, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb," which is probably number 1 on the list of the top 10 things no flight attendant ever wants to hear. After showing her the bomb, he began to list his demands, which were $200,000, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane for when they arrived. At 5:39 p.m., the aircraft landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. After receiving the items he had requested, Cooper ordered all the passengers and some of the flight attendants to leave the plane. The plane then took off again, and when it landed in Reno, Nevada, Cooper wasn't
match the chip to summon a squad to fight for you. Awesome.
in Reno, Nevada. Cooper wasn't on it. The search for Cooper was one of the most extensive in U.S. history, but he has never been located, and no one knows who he really was or what happened to him after this whole ordeal. Maybe DB knew something we all don't, and he vanished into another universe? If so, why did he have to hijack a plane to do so? It truly is one of our biggest mysteries that may never get solved. In our number 1 spot today, we have the Uss Princeton Ufo. This is a UFO sighting that comes from 2004. On November 14th of that year, the Uss Princeton noticed an unknown aircraft of some sort that was about 100 miles off of the coast of San Diego. For 2 weeks prior to this, the crew had been tracking a strange flying object that would start out at around 80,000 feet before extremely quickly dropping to hover right above the Pacific Ocean. Black Aces Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Jim Slate of Strike Fighter Squadron 41 went over in 2 fighter jets in order to kind of scope out the situation, and when they arrived, they saw what at first appeared to be churning water while there was an oval shape just below the surface. After this, a white oval-shaped object appeared above the water, but it had no markings on it. Like, no windows, nothing though to indicate an engine, no wings, and the infrared monitors on the jets didn't pick up any sort of exhaust. The commander and lieutenant commander tried to intercept this strange aircraft, but it very quickly flew away, and it reappeared on the monitor 60 miles away. Like, when I say quickly, I mean it was moving at 3 times the speed of sound and over twice the speed of fighter jets. So, faster than any kind of technology we currently have. We still don't know exactly what this is, but I'm sure a lot of us are thinking the same thing. Or a speaker that pencils in your appointments, and what is up with drones? Technology is advancing faster than ever before, and some people have some fears surrounding that. Here are the top 10 upcoming technologies that humans should fear. Starting off this list, at number 10 spot, we have autonomous AI. There's a Harvard professor named Nick Bostrom, and he devised this thought thought experiment that really does show us the dangers of this sort of super intelligence. So basically, he made this hypothetical scenario where a paperclip company, all the huge corporations that are dedicated to just making paperclips, if they made some sort of AI robot thing that is tasked with the one single goal of creating as many paperclips as possible for the company, in theory is amazing. There's so many paperclips. We don't know what to do with them anymore. Paperclip stocks are higher than they've ever been, and this robot has put that little guy on the computer screen straight out of business. But now, something has happened. This robot, which only knows paper clips and only knows it's supposed to create as many as possible, obviously takes this job seriously, and it's a robot, so it doesn't know about anything else in the world, so this robot starts to take out humans that are now being done by Siri. Bad example, but you get what I mean. It is said that this trend, however, of robots doing human jobs is only on the rise. As an example, which we will talk more about later, self-driving cars. It is said that this new piece of technology will soon put 5 million Americans out of jobs. That's a lot. I mean, if taxi companies or Uber can somehow find a way to remove the middleman, you know they would in order to rake in more cash for themselves. This issue isn't just with this, however. It is said that by 2030, nearly 70 million people could lose their jobs due to automation. Is it efficient? Yes. Is it potentially very harmful? Also yes. In our number 8 spot today, we have personal assistants. No, we are not talking about the person who schedules your appointments or grabs your dry cleaning for you or whatever other outdated cliche I can give to you as a personal assistant. We are talking about Alexas, Google Homes, Siris, that sort of thing. There's been concerns for years over these things and their habits of listening in on our day-to-day lives. I mean, my Google Home mostly just hears the songs of RuPaul's Drag Race, but it also hears everything, sort of false memories under the influence of virtual reality. This, however, is something that needs a lot more study to confirm if these sort of effects really do exist and are happening, and if so, whether they outweigh the benefits. In our number 6 spot today, we have personal information tracking. It is not news to us that people are afraid of their personal information being tracked. I mean, we all know some...
Let's pause it. Head to the crib, head to bed, head to school. Why not? That's fucking great. Yo, give me that car, bitch. You're getting jacked. Get the fuck out. You're getting jacked, bitch. Get out. Trying to chase me down, huh? Motherfucker. Move. Park my car, park this car here, abandon it. Shit. Hey boys, hey boss, hey OVs. Yo, give me your moped, bitch. This is a jackin'. Put on action. It's chill here, dog. Smoke some weed and yeah. Watch YouTube for
One, or
die.
have at least heard of someone who doesn't
Smoke
use
a blunt
the
for die.
You know what I mean? And while in our modern times many people have gotten over these sorts of things, it seems as though there's always a new way people are using technology to sort of track what users are doing. I mean, the other day I was placing an order at Lush, which is a cosmetics company if you're unfamiliar, and I swear, every website I've been to since has given me an ad for the thing I literally already purchased. One day you see an ad for a shower curtain and you click on it. Well, have fun looking at shower curtains, caddies, and bath mats on every website you go to for the next 3 months. It is clear that websites are keeping track of this stuff and sharing it with each other. It's not necessarily this in itself that is concerning, but when there's a mass security breach, such as that time Facebook had one that caused the exposure of around 50 million users' personal information, things like this become much larger of an issue. In our number 5 spot today, we have smart TVs. Okay, I actually didn't know this was something that people were worried about until this list. I mean, I love my smart TV. It's got all the apps. I can speak into the microphone thing instead of using the terrible Prime search function. I don't need cable. I've got a smart TV. It solves so many problems. The picture is great, but not everyone feels so keen about them. Apparently, smart TVs are so smart that they're also keeping tabs on users' viewing habits, which people are worried will somehow allow criminals to hack in and steal their personal information. I mean, there might be something I'm missing here, but what's one more person with the password to my Netflix? You know? Just kidding, Netflix. Please don't ban my account. In our number 4 spot today, we have self-driving cars. We said we'd talk about them again, and I mean, we have to. Taylor and I watched a body cam video the other day of someone being pulled over in a self-driving car because they were asleep at the wheel. I don't trust some actual humans I know enough to fall asleep in the car. I can't imagine trusting a piece of new technology like this. The issue isn't with the self-driving per se. I mean, there are plenty of reasons why this step makes sense, why it could be exceptionally helpful, and why there are people who are clearly on board with the idea, but there are also some things that are rightfully a major cause for concern. One of the most debated and truly one of the biggest questions surrounding this is an ethical one, like, will a self-driving car prioritize a driver or passenger or operator, whatever you want to call them, over other road users? And not just over other road users, but at the expense of other road users. Also, what happens when the car is left with a decision to either collide with one person or another? A car couldn't take into account any sort of extenuating circumstances like a human would. In our number 3 spot today, we have warrior robots. It's a classic
unless we program them to do it, then simple.
Thing, and then suddenly they turn on us and take over the world. We've heard the story, we've read the book, we've seen Will Smith.
But then again, why?
But apparently, we're getting a little
how
closer
would
to this
we
than some of us
program
realize.
it?
There are autonomous drones that are already available. Again, more on that later. But people are saying
Do
that it's
it.
only a matter of time before the leap from fun piece of technology that can catch cool footage to
I'm not a scientist.
Maybe that was a little dramatic, but
I'm
hey,
not
people
a
are
programmer.
worried. There are also people who aren't worried about the whole robots
you know.
working against us thing, but are instead worried that these sorts of autonomous weapons will then create issues surrounding accountability when it comes to armed conflicts. It's definitely something I've actually never really stopped to think about before, but it definitely raises a good point. In our number 2 spot today, we have drones. Drones aren't a new piece of technology, but they are definitely becoming more widespread. In fact, there have been surveys conducted that suggest that drones are actually the piece of technology that is upcoming that the general public fears the most. Part of this, or really a lot of this, is due to the fact that since this technology evolved so quickly, the laws and regulations surrounding them haven't exactly had the time to catch up. Drones can be super useful, and they're a brilliant piece of technology when used responsibly, but considering how the Federal Aviation Administration regulations don't really directly address residential areas, this creates a problem for those who don't know about the drone or about the user's intention. Sometimes when someone just wants to fly their drone and enjoy this piece of technology, it can make others feel like they're being spied on. In our number 1 spot today, we have biomedical advancements. For years, medical researchers have been trying to find ways to replace completely natural but failing organs with new man-made ones, or possibly even to be able to change genes in utero in order order to help with certain inherited diseases. You know, basically studying how we can take steps to improve people's chances, people's quality of life, that sort of thing. It's a really important part of medicine, and on the surface is an incredibly important and valuable thing, but of course, like with any of these things, it raises concerns. While some things, like being able to create fully functioning organs for those awaiting a transplant, is a great thing, there are other, less necessary things that have people on edge. Things like brain chips meant to make us smarter, and synthetic blood to help improve certain abilities. These things have people worried mostly that this will create a divide in between us, sort of like a have-not situation. This, coupled with different places and their access to resources, as well as how religion and personal beliefs confuse things even further, and we have a bit of a recipe for disaster. It's definitely cool on paper, but in reality, things get a little bit more muddled. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. Let me know if any of these technologies...
To Antarctica, huh? Bundle up. It's freezing cold. And make sure you learn about their rules and laws.
Fuck. Shit, man.
Learn about their rules and laws. The last thing you want is to get in trouble. But don't worry, I'm here. And today we're looking at the weirdest laws or rules in Antarctica. If you want us to continue this series, let us know in the comments below what place we should do next. And make sure to check out our videos on the weirdest laws in Japan and China if you haven't already. Starting off this countdown, we have the pests. One very important thing to know about Antarctica is that its ecosystem is pretty fragile. This is due to climate change, loss of biodiversity, human impacts, and the accidental introduction of non-native or alien species. Somehow, we as humans have introduced 121 types of fungi, 72 invertebrates, 8 mammals, and 3 bird species. Now, there are even worms in Antarctica. This is why Antarctica has a don't pack a pest rule. This means that before coming to Antarctica, everything you bring must be thoroughly washed, decontaminated, and inspected. This is to make sure you don't got any tiny seeds on you. They'll even hoover you just to make sure. It's pretty intense, but it's done in order to protect Antarctica. Moving on to number 9, we have no souvenirs. So you took a trip to Antarctica and you want to take something as a memento to remember your trip by. Too bad. You're not allowed to. Taking anything home from Antarctica is banned. That includes a small pebble from a beach or a small bird feather. You can't take any kind of biological material home. Now the reasoning behind this is that there are around 10,000 scientists operating there. They don't want you accidentally taking a fossil home with you or something. You also can't take any equipment you find randomly, even if it's unattended, because chances are it's research equipment and that would be stealing. There's no finders keepers rule in Antarctica, sorry. Moving on to number 8, we have the lichen. Believe it or not, but plants do grow in Antarctica. When people think of this continent, they think of it as a cold, barren place, which is fair, but several types of grass, moss, and lichen grow there. One rule that Antarctica has is that you are prohibited from walking on the lichen. Now, it's because that it takes such a long time to grow, and if it gets damaged, it'll take an even longer time to repair itself. And it may not look like much, but it's vital to Antarctica's ecosystem. In our 7th spot, we have the rescue. Now, Antarctica is pretty freaking big. It's twice the size of Australia, and it has the lowest recorded temperature on Earth. Not only that, but there's not a lot of people living there, which is why, if you're in danger, don't expect to be rescued. It sounds depressing, but it's just realistic. And with Antarctica's unpredictable weather conditions, rescues are basically impossible. Tour groups literally will tell you not to stray away. If anything happens to you, you're kind of SOL. This place might be beautiful, but it's harsh and full of unseen dangers. In our 6th spot, we have the no guns law. Antarctica is a demilitarized zone, meaning absolutely no military activity can take place there. This means that there cannot be any military bases or structures of any kind, and absolutely no weapons testing. With that comes the no weapons law. No firearms or explosive devices are allowed there unless you have been given direct permission. Now, officials in Antarctica do have a firearm, but it's locked away in a glass cabinet in the station master's office. It's a 12-gauge shotgun, and it's only used in emergency situations. According to a local, the only time the station master used this gun was when a man was chasing another man around town with a butcher knife, shouting something about aliens. The next day, the station master was seen escorting this man, who was placed in a straitjacket, onto a plane to get him out of there. He had his gun with him as protection. Other than him, you're not allowed to have any firearms in your possession. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the dolphins. Dolphins are cute, right? Maybe you want to go out whale and dolphin watching and you just want to get close to them. Well, don't. There's a rule in Antarctica that states you must leave the dolphins alone. This includes sailing a boat directly into a group of dolphins to try and get them to go ride with you. Now, they have been known to do this on their own, but it's forbidden to harass these mammals in an attempt to get them to do it. Not only that, but Antarctica is home to hourglass dolphins.
Can I join
These
you?
types of dolphins are very
So go right
rare.
ahead, bitch.
And in our 4th spot today, we have the wisdom teeth removal. Turns out that you gotta get your wisdom teeth removed before going to Antarctica. This is mainly important for people wanting to stay there for a
what's your
while,
name?
or those that are going to work there. If you're doing a quick visit, then you don't really gotta worry about
How old are
this.
you,
Now,
Tessa?
having your wisdom teeth removed lessens the
13
risk
years
of having
old.
a medical
What about you?
emergency, since medical aid
15.
is very limited there. But not everyone needs to have them removed. You have to undergo rigorous medical and dental exams before going to Antarctica. So if it's found that you have nuclear testing, but this treaty prohibits them from doing so. You're also not allowed to use Antarctica for the disposal of nuclear waste. Moving on to number 2, we have the appendix removal. If you're going to Antarctica for an extended period of time to visit, live, or work there, there's just one tiny little thing you have to cough up. Your appendix. Yeah, you heard me.
You got a fat ass, by the
For a
way.
long time has to get their appendix removed. Now this is because some bushes. Hey, I mean, no
You got
shame.
a fat
Okay?
ass,
We've
by the
all
way,
been there.
Tessa.
You gotta go.
Thanks,
You gotta
baby.
go. Some other gentlemen
And
caught
nice tits
tinkling
too.
are these
Thanks.
folks. All 3
Do you wanna
passengers
go
on
out?
a highway had to pull over
So,
to take a bathroom break.
love
I
you.
guess they were going
Love you
on a
too,
long
my
road
baby
trip.
girl.
And then finally, we have this man. This man was on a highway in the UK and pulled over to also drain his faucet. This photo was snapped in 2008, and hopefully no one was able to identify him. Now, thank God these men were not caught, because depending where you are, there are fines for public urination. In our 8th spot, we have the grow-op. If you're thinking of having a secret grow-op within a cornfield, maybe think again. Google Earth is spying from up above and is the biggest tattletaler. In 2009, Swiss authorities used Google Earth to find an illegal weed farm, and this led to their arrest. As you can see, the growers had their business hidden behind a cornfield. This isn't the only time police have used Google Earth in order to make drug busts, though. Authorities in Oregon also used Google Earth to find more possible grow-ops. A man named Curtis Croft was arrested after Google Earth revealed he was growing 3 times as many plants as he was allowed to propagate by law for medical purposes. In our 7th spot, we have the deals. An entire deal was caught by Google Maps in Chicago. They tried to be all sly about it, but not when Google Maps is around. Bam! They caught it all on camera from a bunch of different angles as well. They're not the only ones who got caught, though. We got this deal on the streets of Philadelphia. You got a lady handing a man some cash, and the man holding her a little baggie of white stuff. Wonder what that could be. And lastly, we have Camden, New Jersey. Now, this deal was actually found by a recovered addict. Camden has a very bad problem, and that's where he used to live. So he decided to check out the area in which he used to buy. That's when he found this transaction and actually reported it to the police. The police then tried to use the blurry images of the 2 men to track them down. In our 6th spot, we have the men with the weapons. Somewhere in the suburbs of Oslo, Norway, you'll find 2 men at a gas station in army attire with one of the men wielding a gun. From afar, it doesn't look like anything is out of place, just looks like a bunch of cars. Zoom in, you'll see these men, and then people around them staring at them like, what the hell is going on here? It's not clear why the man is carrying a gun. If he was part of the armed forces, you know, it explains the uniform, but to have a gun out in the open like that and to be waving it around, I don't know. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the old lady. The photo of this woman spotted on Google went viral after being posted on Reddit. And that's because of what she appears to be holding in her hands. So this woman was spotted standing on the corner of a street somewhere in Bulgaria. In her right hand, she appears to be holding a small axe. To make matters creepier, it appears as if she's trying to hide the weapon from the Google car passing by. And in some shots, Google actually blurred both her face and her hand and the axe. And we literally don't know why. Maybe she's just an innocent old lady borrowing an axe from her neighbor. Or maybe she's a cold-blooded killer and that's her weapon of choice. Moving on to number 4, we have the buried bodies. This Google Earth image seems to have captured a murder scene. You can see 2 open graves with 2 men placed inside of them. They are laying face up with a mound of dirt beside them, showing that they had just been recently buried. Now, when people came across this site, they literally freaked out, thinking that they just saw 2 bodies. Alas, that is not the case. After investigating, it turns out that this is just a symbolic piece of art, and the artist didn't even mean for it to be caught on Google Earth. It just so happened to catch them. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and that's not an actual image of real dead people. In our 3rd spot, we have...
How many dicks have you had in you?
Imagine you're out for a stroll one day when you come across a group of human
100
hybrids. What would you do?
And there are 101 dicks in me,
this?
baby.
If you scroll down a street in Musashino, Tokyo, you'll find a group of humans wearing creepy pigeon masks. This particular photo was taken on March 2013 and features 8 people staring directly at Google's cameraman. Now, I have many questions. The first being why. The second being why. And the third being why wasn't I invited? In all seriousness, it probably was done as a joke, but still, it makes for a really creepy and surprising encounter. In our 2nd spot, we have the strange...
Let's pause it. Let's go and go to your crib. Done. Get on. So, where do you live? This way? This way? Yeah. Fair enough. Do you live on your own or with your mum and your dad? I live with my mum and my dad. God damn, this is a rich area. Yep, I live in a rich area. God damn. I know. Keep going straight. Keep going. Does your mom and dad work or... No, they don't care if I fuck up, guys. They let me do whatever the fuck I want. Cool. I know. Just pocket here. Pocket here? Yeah. Cool. Let's go, bitch. God damn, you do live in a mansion, cunt. Look at this shit. Just jump the fence. Son, what are you doing here? So you tell me So you're telling me you're my dad and she is... Yeah. What would you say if I'm gonna kill you right here? Because you did ditch me when I was young. I never knew. But now you tell me If you want, John, do it. I reserve it. Okay, so I can kill you? Yeah, if you want. But then again, I'm an FBI agent. What that FBI doing in Ukrainian, or whatever this fucking country is called? We are undercover basically here to help the civilians in the war. Whatever. Come on, let's go, bitch sister. One more thing, son. What's up, Dad, huh? Me and your mom are going out for a while. So yeah, whatever. It's chill fucking here, dog.
Fair enough, brother.
Three, two, one. Action.
Japan that has more dolls living there than humans. Yes, you heard me. So this town has 385 residents. Only 35 of them are living. The rest are human-sized.
Hello?
Hello there, sir.
Hello?
Do you want to earn $20,000?
me, help me? Baby
Doing
brother?
what?
Would you like to
So
earn
baby
$20,000?
Thanks.
Doing what?
How do you say this? Are you comfortable using a gun? Indubitably.
Yes.
Well, you will have to use a gun, and you will have to protect me for a drug deal going down. Indubitably.
Hold up. Let me ask somebody who wants help.
What about you? Are you a cop? Is that why?
No, I'm not a cop. Do you see what I'm wearing?
Hop in the vehicle if you're not a cop and prove it. Make sure you're not wearing a wire. Indubitably.
I'm good.
You're a cop. Wait until I
No,
tell
I'm not.
everyone. Then why
I'm
won't you
not.
hop in the vehicle? You're being awfully sketch, indubitably.
No, I'm not a cop.
Then hop in the vehicle to prove you're not a cop.
I'm not a cop. Yeah, we got him. He's in a gray suit, gray car. Yep, we got him.
Officers, help me!
Officers, he's trying to make a drug deal. Officers,
Help me! He was trying to rob me.
Officers. He asked me.
Oh, sirs, why are you running in front of my car?
Officers, he asked me to help him with the drug deal that's going down. I
He
did
was
not
trying to
help
rob me, officers. At
He's
gunpoint,
lying.
indubitably.
He said, "Are you comfortable using a gun?" And I said,
What?
no. And then that's when he was like,
What are you talking about,
he was
belligerent
like,
fool?
well, I need you to use this gun because I need you to protect me. I'm going to do this drug deal.
What?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Bobby. I won't lie to you.
Alright, sir, I need you to go stand right on the sidewalk there. I need you to take a seat, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Officer, why don't you search him?
Okay.
Indubitably.
Alright, I'm gonna let's have a talk over here real quick, sir, okay?
Indubitably. How can I help you, officer?
Alright, sir, so we're gonna need to hear your side of the story, okay? What's going on here?
Alright, indubitably. Was that,
Sir?
he was on a thing. Oh, I think I have a hostage.
You want, and,
It says you made a call about 6 minutes.
and that's when I got on the phone with the cops. The cops didn't answer, so I tried to check them. See, I tried to check them.
Right before.
8 24 karat gold rings. And you have 5 Rolexes and 13 Samsung S10 smartphones on you, okay?
Yeah,
so
yes,
I
sir.
did not believe that you bought this many items from the pawn shop,
I did,
right?
sir.
So
the guy,
but then not to mention, you also do have 149
Can
grams
I
of
watch
cocaine
another
on you
sister?
and 37 grams
So,
of
let's
methamphetamine.
have kids
told you that.
together.
Yeah, I know,
Damn,
but
my
that's
baby
too large of a.
Yeah,
so,
but I
so
told
everyone,
you that the guy over there sold me this stuff.
What? Officer, might I add something?
Everybody's waiting.
And I had my
Okay.
call. I'm getting framed right now.
Can I call you Daddy brother?
Officer, I have one
So, go
question.
right ahead,
Is this
ho.
the owner of the house?
Thanks, Daddy.
You're welcome. Let's have another giant gun. Shit. You're my good bitch, aren't you?
Yes, Dad. My baby brother.
You goddamn right, you hoe.
I'm Muhammad, and I am from Saudi Arabia. Growing up, I saw many rich men in our city having multiple... Hey, I'm Muhammad, and I am from Saudi Arabia. Growing up, I saw many rich men in our city having multiple wives. According to our religion, a man is allowed to marry up to 4 women. And back when I was 13
Goddamn,
years
I'd
old,
love to live
girls were
there.
the only thing on my
I'll
mind.
be in
Luckily,
heaven.
my father is a high-ranking general in the military. He makes a good salary, and I knew I could easily afford to have 4 women. I chose my first wife when I was 14. She was beautiful and 4 years older than me. We were a happy couple, but I never told her I wanted a second, a third, and even 4th wife. Had she known about it, she would have never married me. So you can imagine how angry she got when one day I brought home a new girl and introduced her as my second wife. I had married her the day before without telling anyone. But it's not easy to live with 2 wives. They constantly argue and scream at each other. My first wife is the worst.
Just fuck them both
She's always
and make
in a
them
bad
happy
mood,
and shut
which
up.
is why I'm spending less and less
Simple
time
enough.
with her. When I told my father I wanted a